right, everyone, we'd like to welcome to the program a good friend of the SCGA's, Marietta native, and Rickie Fowler's right-hand man, Joe Skovron. Thanks for joining, dude. What's new?
Yeah, glad to be on. Glad to talk to you. It's been a while.
It has been, and what else has been a while? It's been the PGA Tour, where the wait is finally over, and we get back underway this week at Colonial in Fort Worth. How fun is it going to be just to get back out there with everybody? It should be a major feel with all the anticipation.
Yeah, it's the most excited I can remember about being back to work in quite a while. I mean, there's always certain weeks you get a little bit more fired up for, but just getting on the plane today, I was just happy to be going to work and thankful for the opportunity to get back.
Yeah, and during that shutdown, you've been in Arizona while Rickie's been down in Florida. Have you two been staying in communication at all? Is he calling you after a round to update you on a swing thought or any sort of strategy behind when you guys will be back out there together?
We probably talked a handful of times, and a couple of times were in the last week, kind of check in on each other, but let him do his thing. And I know he's good. He knows I'm good. And if we need something, we'll kind of check in on each other, talk to his swing coach a little bit, just to kind of stay up on that stuff, and then check in with him, but not too much as far as that goes. Like I said, we kind of give each other our space and let each other do their thing.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, kind of the hands-off approach to caddying. And I'm just genuinely curious about this question. Does a caddy get rusty? I mean, have you asked any of your buddies to carry their bag and read their putts for a round just to stay sharp here and there?
It's funny you say that because they did a little event for the Tour Pros out at Whisper Rock where I play in Scottsdale last week. They did a little 2-day event, and I was joking around asking if anybody needed me to get the bag so I could knock off some of the rust, but no, I didn't end up doing that. I think you do a little bit, just, for me, like I was playing a lot of golf, so that you've got to get back into like Rickie's numbers and right back into everything that, I'm always thinking of Rickie's game, not my game. So when I go play, I'm kind of like, wait, how far do I hit it again? And then, now it's like, you got to kind of review stuff again and go back over and, talk to him just, on any club changes or things that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for, and should be able to get right back into it, just like it's an off season and you took a little time off.
Yeah, and do you think everybody else is in that same boat? I mean, just maybe the yardages are going to be a little off and maybe some communication issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the flow of the communication, those first 9 holes or that first round could be a little bit different than it normally is for guys. I think some guys will get right back into it. Some guys it'll be a little bit different, just because they've been, for 3 months, if they've been playing golf, they've been playing without a caddy. So, going through that whole communication and what you normally do, getting right back to it might not be as easy. So, I'm sure we'll focus on that a little bit more than we do during practice rounds, just to kind of get back into the routine of things, to where by Thursday we're kind of back into, the rhythm of it more than anything for the player. I don't think for the caddy it's real tough, but for the player, you just don't want to screw up their rhythm and their thought process that they've been using during this time while they've been playing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, it's probably a little easier with you and Rickie because you've actually known him since he was 4 years old. You both grew up in Marietta, where he actually played in your family's Valley Junior Golf Association tournaments.
Yes, correct.
Given that you're 8 years older than Rickie, how cool is it to basically watch him grow up and now be at his side while he's on tour and all the success that he's had?
Yeah, it's been so much fun for me. I mean, it was fun for me, that whole time as he became kind of a, he went from a local guy to, 1 or 2 player in the nation, and then, takes it the next step in college and, is the best amateur in the world and all those things. And then since he's turned pro, getting to be a part of all of it and watching him grow as a person and a golfer and, and not only his influence, from his golf game, but just, what he's done for the sport and how popular he is and how many people like him and how many good things he's been able to do with charities and everything else. It's just been a lot of fun for me watching him grow up, and see him turn into a man and then to get to be a part of it,
Yeah, is it true that he was the only 5-year-old that your mother ever allowed to play in the tournaments? I know there's an age cutoff. Nice
call there. He was 4.5, and it was always 5, and so I always tell her she's 1 for 1. So
that's right.
she knew how to pick the right one to let in there.
So. Yeah, good on her. So back to yourself a little bit. You were an All-American yourself at Laverne. Do you think that experience as a high-level golfer gives you a different perspective as a caddy, or does being a good golfer not necessarily always correlate to being a good caddy?
No, I think it definitely does. I think the biggest thing, that's why you see so many guys out here now that played college golf or mini tours, or even some of these guys played a year or two on tour or the web.com or wherever it was. And I just think that more than anything, the playing tournament golf and knowing how a guy feels in a situation, obviously this is a way bigger level, but at the time when you're a junior golfer, that feels like the PGA Tour to you, an AJGA event feels like a major. And then, you go to amateur golf and the big amateur events feel that way. And so those feelings run through you. It's just these guys are a different level of skill, different level of talent. And, they're playing against way better competition, but they're also way better players. So it definitely relates, especially when you get to if a guy's struggling, or if a guy's really hot and knowing when to stay out of their way and kind of that thought process you go through, or just thinking about, what you'd like to hear if things are going wrong, or, getting to know your guy and what he'd like to hear, but also, lies and different things that you can learn, obviously not playing at a high level. You can learn how to interpret lies and do all those things. But I just think how hard golf is and the things that go through your mind and the negative thoughts as well that can go through your mind. I think it's important to understand that and the feelings that are going through in a big situation, big moment, trying to make a cut, trying to win a golf tournament. So I think you can kind of draw on those and have a little bit, be able to use that to help you do your job better.
Yeah, that all makes sense. And can you just give our listeners a rundown of standard tournament week prep? We can be quick on this. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but say from a Monday of a tournament week to the end of that first round, what are you doing?
Yeah, so that's changed a bit over the years just because we've played golf courses so much. But so a standard week when we've been there a lot, I'll usually fly in on a Monday. I used to be flying early Monday, go walk the course, do that. If I get in early enough, I'll go walk the course on Monday. If not, I'll get that done on Tuesday. And for us, a typical week now is 9 holes in practice on a Tuesday and then Pro-Am Wednesday. And then for me, before every round, I get there a couple hours before. We usually get the pin sheets the night before, so you're putting those in the green book and you're going over we've seen most of the pins, so you kind of know where your leaves are. I have the notes from the old yardage book. When you walk the course, you're looking for any changes in the course from there, and then kind of just reminding yourself of where leaves are, what we've hit off the tees there in the past, and we'll go over that Tuesday and Wednesday if we want to play the hole the same way we have in the past, or if we want to change it up. And then you get out there and you go.
Yeah, it sounds pretty straightforward. I'm sure there's some bumps along the road.
Yeah.
So when you see that tee sheet, who are some of your favorite guys to be paired with as far as just fun and comfortability go for just both you and Rickie?
Yeah, I'm excited about our pairing this week. They released, they haven't said what time yet. That'll probably come out tomorrow, but they released the featured groups, and we're playing with Jordan and Justin. So for me, I like both their caddies, get along with both of them really well. Rick gets along with them well. So that's a great group for us. We get along with a lot of the guys out here. I get really excited if I see Cameron Smith or Mark Leishman on there as well, because their caddies are my two best friends out here that I room with all the time. So it's always nice to get the same wave as your roomies, not being at the golf course at different times and, get paired with them. That's always enjoyable. But there's a ton of guys that, that it's really enjoyable to play with them and talk in between shots and, healthy competition.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Rickie, and just getting to know you a little bit seems like the conversation flows. So I'm sure you guys are a favorite for others to see on the tee sheet as well. So I'm sure.
I hope so. Hope so.
Yeah. So we had your buddy Bones at a SCGA Junior Golf Foundation dinner a few years back, and he told this incredible story about how he had one quote unquote veto per year, where basically he could overrule Phil when he was trying to do something ridiculous, like hitting a three wood from a pot bunker during the Open. Do you and Rickie have a similar working agreement? Have you ever really had a hard?
There's no veto in there. There's no veto in there, and I'll press my opinion if I think he's doing something like that, but it's always going to be up to him, from there. And usually we can get on the same page before he hits a shot. It's rare that we're not on the same page, and but there's been times where we haven't been, and that's part of the deal. So, but it's always up to them. I'm here to give my opinion. I'm not here to make the final decision. That's up to him, and he's got to feel good about it. So, make my case the best I can, and then he goes from there and he makes a decision, and whatever happens, happens.
That makes sense. And for the record, Phil did not let him veto. He said that the veto actually is only good in the United States. So just for the record,
yeah.
Just for the record, that didn't actually go down.
Phil's always going to find a way to get his way.
That's right. So let's just try something new here. This is a first for the podcast. We're going to do some quick hits. You know the deal,
Okay.
Just a sentence or two per question. So you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Other than the Masters, what is your favorite tour event each year?
Phoenix Open.
Which facility has the best post-round food spread?
Augusta.
Which course has the best clubhouse amenities?
Oh, so I'm going to turn that into Caddie amenities because I don't know which one would have the best clubhouse. And that would be a toss-up between Charlotte and Augusta.
What is your favorite tour stop city and why?
So I'm going to go with one that's a little bit different than a lot of people would say. I really like Columbus, Ohio. I've become a big fan of there. I just think it's a really underrated town. And the Dublin area has gotten really nice, so I'm high on that one.
I've heard the same. I got to get out there. Favorite golfer other than Rickie or Tiger to watch inside the ropes, up close and personal?
Whew. I mean, there's a few guys. I think Rahm's fun to watch because he's got so many shots. Rory, when he's driving it great, is so much fun to watch. So I'd go with one of those two guys.
Those are good choices. And last one, you can rattle off a few of these, but what are some of your favorite golf courses in Southern California?
Southern California. Well, I'm partial to what used to be the SCGA course because I grew up there.
That's right.
So that one's a big one for me. And then, man, I haven't gotten to play a lot of the great ones, believe it or not. So I'm trying to think off the top of my head the ones I enjoy the most. I haven't played Palma Valley since the redo, but I really liked it when I played it. I thought Rancho Santa Fe was very good when I played it. I like the Grand Del Mar when I've played it since they redid that and renamed it, how many ever years back. So those are the ones that come to the top of my head. I really enjoyed playing Oak Valley a lot. I played there a lot, and I always thought that was an enjoyable golf course as well.
Those are some under the radar picks right there. That's good.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I haven't played a lot of the big name ones, so I can't really say LA Country Club or Riviera. I haven't played it yet. So.
Yeah. All right, and I'll leave you with this, non-golf related, but how you feeling about the Chargers this year? I honestly don't think they could have had a better offseason.
Completely agree.
Completely
agree with you, other than my favorite player of all time being gone. But I think the roster is good enough to make a playoff run.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I live a few miles down from the new stadium. I actually have season tickets this year, so I'm just praying
nice.
I can pray and I can get inside and see a game this year. So.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. You want to come to a game? I got 2 tickets, one with your name on it. I'll pay you back.
All right, sounds good. I might take you up on that.
Waste Management Open tickets a few years back.
All right. I like it.
All right. Yeah, and I think that does it. So, Joe, again, thanks so much for the time. All the best to you. Stay safe, and we'll be pulling for you guys as usual.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk soon.